Just 2 hours north of New York City, deep within the Catskill Mountains, hardwood forests and seasonal snowdrifts conceal the remnants of a fallen empire. Push through the thick shroud of fog and you will find towering concrete structures standing completely silent in the wilderness. Inside, the decay is surreal. Ceilings have caved in on grand ballrooms. Strips of peeling avocado green wallpaper hang in the cold air. Pine saplings and ferns now sprout through the cracked tile floors of what were once Olympic-sized indoor swimming pools. More than 500 interconnected mega-resorts lie rotting across Sullivan and Ulster counties. At their peak, these sprawling complexes hosted over 1 million guests every single summer. It leaves a haunting question. Who constructed these massive leisure cities deep in the remote woods? And what force was capable of erasing them so abruptly? What remains here are not empty buildings. These shattered foundations are the physical corpse of a parallel American society that grew, thrived, and ultimately died in absolute isolation. To understand how this empire began, we have to look past the rusted entry gates and travel back to the early 20th century. During this era, elite East Coast vacation destinations actively barred Jewish families. Many prominent hotels published advertisements explicitly stating that no Hebrews or consumptives were allowed on their properties. Driven out of traditional resorts, Jewish entrepreneurs began purchasing rural farmland in the Catskills. They converted these modest agricultural plots into their own luxurious mountain havens, where Jewish guests were warmly welcomed. The opening of the New York State Thruway and an upgraded Route 17 provided a direct route from the sweltering concrete of New York City. Working-class families poured out of the metropolis, transforming these isolated farms into a booming resort corridor known as the Borscht Belt. The Borscht Belt became a massive, self-contained world. It was a thriving ecosystem built defensively, born out of necessity and exclusion. Step inside a collapsed dining hall today, and it's difficult to reconcile these rotting floorboards with the sheer energy that pulsed here in the mid-1950s. The largest mega-resorts, like Grossingers and the Concord, functioned as self-contained cities. They operated their own post offices, ski slopes, and airports, with thousands of guests congregating in enormous communal spaces. The interiors featured sleek mid-century modern design, sweeping curved ceilings, and rich patterned carpets. This level of opulence offered a stark, temporary escape from the working-class reality most guests faced back home. The dining experience was defined by absolute abundance. Families enjoyed mambo dance lessons, ice-carved buffets, and 3 massive kosher meals a day. Driven by memories of hunger, the resorts operated on a single core philosophy: too much was not enough. Those who couldn't afford the luxury hotels stayed in bungalow colonies, or couche lanes, meaning cook-alones. These modest, self-catered boarding houses allowed lower middle-class families to share in the fresh mountain air and communal spirit. This culture of excess transformed a simple summer vacation into a collective statement of belonging. For families who carried memories of hunger or the sting of exclusion, these endless buffets and grand ballrooms were the physical proof that they had finally arrived. The dark, graffiti-covered theaters left standing today served as an entirely unexpected incubator for modern American pop culture. The entertainment ecosystem relied on the Tumbler, a relentless, rapid-fire social director, tasked with keeping the crowds laughing and engaged from morning until late at night. Young performers used this demanding circuit to hone their craft. Jerry Lewis worked as a tumbler, translating his manic mountain energy into a legendary film and television career. Writers and performers like Mel Brooks developed a sharp, rapid-fire humor here that would come to define modern comedic writing. Joan Rivers was among the countless stand-ups who sharpened their routines in front of these exact demanding mountain audiences. At their peak, these showrooms commanded massive A-list entertainment power, regularly booking superstars like Sammy Davis Jr. The draw of the resorts extended beyond comedy and music, attracting elite athletes. Heavyweight boxing champion Rocky Marciano even used Grossingers as his training camp. Built strictly to entertain a marginalized group, this remote mountain circuit inadvertently forged the blueprint for American stand-up comedy and modern entertainment. But if you step outside to the old tennis courts, now flooded and overgrown with reeds, you see the aftermath of a rapid decline that began in the late 1970s. The collapse of this empire was driven by three overlapping sociological and technological forces, often referred to as the 3 A's. First was airfare. The rise of cheap, accessible commercial jet travel meant young families could easily fly to the Caribbean or Europe rather than driving back up to New York State. Second was air conditioning. As residential cooling units became widespread, suburbanites no longer had a desperate physical need to escape the scorching summer heat of the city. Finally, assimilation. As anti-Semitism declined, younger generations of Jewish Americans integrated into broader society. They opted for independent travel over the structured, segregated vacations of their parents. Guest numbers plummeted. Unable to cover the massive heating and maintenance bills for their sprawling complexes, legendary behemoths like the Concord and Grossingers slipped into financial ruin and declared bankruptcy. The very American dream its founders fought to achieve eventually rendered the region obsolete. Left unsecured, the abandoned resorts fell prey to scrappers, vandals, and suspicious fires. Brutal winter snowstorms rapidly accelerated the decay, turning these luxury spaces into surreal eco-disaster zones. Yet, the region is experiencing a quiet rebirth. Historical societies are erecting markers to preserve the history of the sites, while growing Orthodox Jewish communities are purchasing and repurposing former bungalow colonies to keep the mountain heritage alive. The physical structures of the Borscht Belt are aggressively returning to the earth, but the cultural DNA they generated remains permanently embedded in the United States. As winter darkness falls over upstate New York, the snow quietly buries the last remaining concrete foundations deep in the mountain wilderness. If you enjoyed this cinematic journey into America's dark history and lost mountain resorts, hit the subscribe button to join us for our next exploration. And leave a comment below. Did your family ever vacation in the Catskills or a similar mid-century